Do you want to learn machine learning? Do you want to learn it for free? If you answered yes to both questions, then you want to watch this video to the end because I'm going to share with you a free learning platform for machine learning. And without further ado, we're starting right now. And the learning resource that I'm talking about today is called the Machine Learning Crash Course, provided by Google. Okay, so let's have a look at the website of this machine learning crash course. So this is the machine learning crash course provided by Google. And here it is a fast-paced practical introduction to machine learning. So let's have a look at some of the key features of this crash course. And the course is comprised of more than 30 exercises. It is comprised of a total of 25 lessons, and it will take you about 15 hours to complete. And this course is taught by Google researchers, and it provides you with real-world case studies, and you're provided with interactive visualization of algorithms that are in action. Okay, so before proceeding, let's discuss about the prerequisites for this course. So this course assumes that you have basic working knowledge of Python, and this includes knowing how to use the NumPy library and the Pandas library. Links to learning resources is also provided in this crash course as well. So let's have a look further. Okay, so in this section of the website, it provides you with some of the questions that are answered during the course. For example, how does machine learning differ from traditional programming? How do I determine whether my model is effective? What is loss and how do I measure it? How do I represent my data so that a program can learn from it? How does gradient descent work? How do I build a deep neural network? So all of this will be covered by this course. Okay, so let's have a look further. Let's click on the Start Crash Course link. Okay, so this takes you to the Introduction to Machine Learning. And before beginning, let's have a look at the prerequisite. As I mentioned already, that you need some working knowledge of Python, NumPy, and Pandas. Okay, so upon clicking the prerequisites and pre-work here, so here it asks you a question. Is machine learning crash course right for you? So you have three possibilities. So let's have a look at what happens when we click on I have little or no machine learning background. So it recommends you to take this course. So let's click on Start Learning. Okay, so it takes you to the Introduction to Machine Learning, which is the first lecture here. Let's head on back to prerequisite. Or how about the second answer here? I have some background in machine learning, but I like more current and complete understanding. Let's click on it. Okay, so it still takes you to the Introduction to Machine Learning. And what if we click on the third answer? I know machine learning really well, but I know little or nothing about TensorFlow. Okay, so it's telling you that a lot of the material here are too basic for you, and they recommend you to go and have a look at other resources, such as the first steps with TensorFlow, TensorFlow programming exercises. Machine Learning Crash Course focuses primarily on higher level APIs. If you're more interested in learning the low level TensorFlow API, okay, then they recommend you two of these courses. Okay, and so here, let's have a look at the pre-work. It says here that if you're new to machine learning, then they recommend you to take the Introduction to Machine Learning problem framing. So that will take you about 1 hour to complete. And it recommends that if you are new to NumPy or Pandas, to have a look at this very quick tutorial. So it's a Google Colab exercise. Okay, so this is very nice. They provide you with the prerequisite. And so here it says that the crash course does not presume or require any prior knowledge in machine learning, and that they recommend that you should have the following prerequisites. And so the first bullet point here mentions that you should be comfortable with variables, linear equations, graphs of function, histograms, and statistical concepts. And the second bullet point here is that you should have some working knowledge of Python. And so here they make a list of some of the topics that you could read on. And so they also provide you the link if you click on it, right? Like in Python programming, knowing how to define and call functions, knowing how to use dictionaries, lists, and sets, using the for loop, using if-else conditionals, string formatting, assigning variables, etc., using the bash terminal. All right, so now we have taken a look at the prerequisites, and let's have a look at the exercise here. Okay, so it essentially gives you a link of all of the exercises that will be provided throughout the whole course. And so you could conveniently click on exercise link here, and you could just hop around to the various exercise of each of the topic to the left here. Right, like for example, here you have framing, and there's an exercise called check your understanding. So in framing, there will be an exercise at the end called check your understanding. And in the topic descending into ML, there's an exercise called check your understanding, mean squared error. Let's have a look, and it's right here. So you can see that this exercise link will conveniently provide you all of the exercise link so that you could quickly have access to them. Let's say that you're learning this not in one go, because it wouldn't be possible unless you will spend your entire day of 15 hours to learn this. So let's say that you spend about 30 minutes to 60 minutes a day on this, then you probably spend about half a month to 1 month to complete. So not bad if you're just spending 30 minutes a day, but it would be nice if you could spend at least an hour or 2 hours a day, and you should be able to complete this in 1 to 2 weeks. So let's take a look at the sidebar menu here. So we have the quick links, and we have already taken a look at the components inside, and the second part here is the ML concept, so the concepts of machine learning. And then we have machine learning engineering. And so the third is machine learning systems in the real world. And then we have conclusion. And so there's a total of 4 major sections of this course. And so the quick link is not included. It's just an overview of the course and the prerequisite and a quick link to the exercises. So the machine learning concept will provide you with fundamentals about machine learning. And so here you're going to be learning about the very basic introduction to machine learning. So it's going to be comprised of a 3-minute video, right? And so each of the topic will be accompanied by the learning objectives. So you will get to see what you're going to learn from this topic. Like for example, in the introduction to machine learning, it says here clearly that you're going to spend about 3 minutes, and you're going to recognize the practical benefit of mastering machine learning. And then you're going to also learn about the philosophy behind machine learning. And so this will be a video on the introduction to machine learning. So you could click on this to listen to the video. And let's click on the next topic, framing. So here you see that the icon has a video icon. So this will be accompanied by a video about framing, and it takes you about 2 minutes. So learning objective is also provided here. Refresh fundamental machine learning terms, explore various uses of machine learning. Let's have a look. Key machine learning terminology. So it's going to provide you with the common terminologies used in machine learning, like for example, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, I presume, labels, features, examples, having looked at the tabular data, training set, testing set, inference, regression, classification. So they are the basic terminology that you should have an understanding of. Okay, and finally they have an exercise to check your understanding. Right? Okay, so they are the answers, and they provide you with the explanation. Okay, so all right. So once you have built your model, then you want to take your model to production. And so the thing is, you want to deploy your model. And so let's have a look at the machine learning engineering section here. So this provides you the understanding of the breadth of components in a production machine learning system. All right. So this is a summary of the video lecture. And so this provides you a nice schematic representation of the relationship between machine learning codes and the various parts of the ecosystem. That we're not just building machine learning models, but there are other tasks that are involved as well, like data collection, feature extraction, data verification, managing resources, monitoring, configuration, and managing the serving infrastructure as well. Right, and so topic on static versus dynamic training, static versus dynamic inference, data dependencies, and the fairness. Okay, and so topics about bias, identifying bias, evaluating for bias. So conceptually here, we could see that from machine learning models to deploying the machine learning model in a production environment. And then finally, they provide you here with some of the examples of how machine learning is is used in the real world. And so here they provide you with 3 videos. And the first one here is about using machine learning for cancer prediction. And then the second one here is using machine learning for literature. Okay, so about 18th century literature. All right, let's have a look further. Guidelines, 2-minute video. All right, so here they provide you with some summary of the guidelines learned from these real-world examples. Learning objective, determine flaws in real-world machine learning models. All right, so here's the summary of the lecture components. So here they provide you with some tips for how to perform machine learning effectively. Okay, so in the conclusion here, they provide you with links to other learning resources that you could further your education in machine learning. So you might want to check that out, have a look at each of these links. Okay, and so that's the machine learning crash course. So let's go back to the first page. And there are other components as well. So after you finish the crash course, you could hop on to learn additional topic as well. So for example, problem framing, data preparation, clustering, recommendation, testing and debugging, and generative adversarial network. All of these are additional courses that you could also take. So let's have a look at each of these. So problem framing will take you about 1 hour to complete. So this problem framing is very nice in that it provides you with how to manage machine learning, how to make use of machine learning in your business problem. And so it provides you with some examples of the common machine learning terminologies. It provides you with some examples of how you could develop products using machine learning and how you could compare contrast machine learning to other programmatic methods. And this should take you about an hour to complete. And then the next one is data preparation. And so as you can see here, they are part of this pipeline. So the framing of the problem is the first one. And so the second and third are in the data prep. And so this will take you about less than 3 hours to complete. And then if we move on to clustering, and so here it says that it will take you about 4 hours to complete. And so you're going to be learning about clustering in this course. And then we have recommendation, also another 4 hours. So this course are also including exercises that you could also follow along. And then you have testing and debugging. Okay, so it talks about how you can train your model and then how you could use the model to make predictions. And so if there are issues that can go wrong, then how to debug that issue or to resolve the issue. And in GANs, you're going to learn about generative adversarial network. And so in a nutshell, GANs will allow you to generate artificial real-life looking images. Each of these photos are based on imaginary people that GANs has created. So this is the power of GANs, and if you would like to learn more about it, then you could take this GANs course as well. Okay, and so let's have a look at the Practica tab as well. And so the Practica tab here allows you to have a look at how does Google make use of machine learning. So here, they give you 2 examples. Google used machine learning in image classification, and they also use it for sentiment analysis, or particular here, they use it to identify whether a text are toxic or not. So making use of natural language processing. And this makes use of computer vision. And let's have a look at the guides. So the guides here provide you with some best practices. And so there are a total of 3 machine learning guides. So you have the rules of machine learning, and there are a total of 43 rules, and there's going to be a video here talking about the 10 rules, but if you want the rest of the 43 rules, you have to read about it. So let's have a brief look. Right, so as I mentioned, this is the YouTube video. You could have a look at the 10 rules, but you could read the entire 43 here. Like for example, rule number 1, don't be afraid to launch a product without machine learning. So they are practical advice and best practices for machine learning engineering. And so the next guide is on text classification. So it will tell you how to do the entire pipeline here, from data collection, data exploration, preparation of the data, building and evaluating the model, tuning the hyperparameters, and deploying the model. So it's very nice. You can have a look at this spam classifier. Okay, and the other one is good data analysis. So it's a pretty lengthy document, and feel free to have a look. And there are very essential topics for performing good data analysis. Like for example, checking for reproducibility of your model and the mindset, like the popular concept that correlation does not equal to causation. Okay, so let's have a look. And so the glossary here is also very useful. Let's say that you encounter some terminology that you don't understand. So you could have a look at this machine learning glossary. Like for example, what is A/B testing? What is accuracy, right? Etc. So as you can see, this is a very nice resource for learning about machine learning. And if we are to combine all of the learning hours that it would take to complete all of this, let's count. The first course on the machine learning crash course will take you about 15 hours. Problem framing will take you 1 hour, so that makes it 16. Data prep will take you about 3 hours, so that becomes 19. Clustering, recommendation, and testing debugging will each take 4 hours, so that's 19 and 12, so that's 31. And the GANs will probably take you about 2 hours, so that's 31 plus 2, so it's a total of about 33 hours. So all of the courses here would take you about 33 hours. So let's say that you spend about an hour a day. You should be able to complete all of this in about a month. And there are other practical tutorials as well. So probably about 2 months to complete all of this. Okay, so very useful. And if you're finding value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Hit on the notification bell in order to be notified of the next video. And as always, the best way to learn data science is to do data science. And please enjoy the journey. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. But in the meantime, please check out these videos.